I'm Trisha Brooke, and
Jamie Broderick.
And we are the co-organizers of TEDxLincolnSquare, risk takers and
change makers.
Studying the TEDx form and understanding that it's about gifting, not asking when you're giving a TEDx, I really wanted to create an application that would challenge the people applying so that I would know right away if they understood the difference between a keynote versus a TEDx.
But we got the word out to potential speakers through social media and direct outreach.
As a producer of theater, I also knew that I wanted the show to be very diverse and very eclectic. So Jamie and I really decided to put together the most interesting possible group of speakers.
I'm Kevin Pierce, and I'm a former professional snowboarder.
My name is Wendy Smith, and I'm an author and consultant, and have worked with nonprofits throughout my career to provide early intervention.
So I'm Kristen Smedley, and I started and run the Curing Retinal Blindness Foundation.
My name is Michael Cioni. I'm the Senior Vice President of Innovation at Panavision.
My name is Rich Holman. I am an actor and an improviser and a teacher.
My name is Brian Hollow Dreams Henry, and I'm a professional crump dancer, artist, taboo seeker, whatever you may.
My name is Gail Tolstoy Miller, and I'm a CEO of a career coaching and staffing firm.
My name is Mari Carmen Pizarro, and I am a transformational coach.
Hi, my name is Kareth Foster. I'm a professional comedian and speaker.
Several of the speakers I invited to take the TEDx stage because I knew that what they were talking about was something I was interested in supporting. For example, Rich Holman and I have worked on several plays and musicals together. And when he was talking about how passionate he was about the art of improvisation and how he believes that it can really create compassion in the world, I thought that is crazy and amazing, and I want to put him on a TEDx stage.
So what I'm talking about is improv, comedic improvisation, and that technique, and how the skills you have to master in improv are the same skills that can make people be more compassionate towards each other. There's a lot of improv is fighting kind of an evolutionary inertia to protect yourself and to see people as others as opposed to take risk and see people as part of your tribe. And that's the basic dynamic. This actually was very interesting on the run-up. One, it's all my ideas and things I've written, so there's that layer of kind of fun, but also anxiety. And it's a one-time thing. So in that regard, it really is different to have months to look forward to this one-time event, which is pretty awesome. It's cool to be a part of.
And I tried to actually inspire the speakers to take risks with their talks. I wanted them to create talks that were new, that were outside of their comfort zones, and that were extremely personal. And I think that my goal was to help them feel even more of a risk taker after this event.
I love to win, and I hate to lose even more. In late 2009, I was entirely focused on the Vancouver Winter Olympics and learning a new trick called a double cork. In 2009, I had a really bad snowboarding accident and had a really bad traumatic brain injury. So I'm talking about that and what this process has been like and kind of what these brains of ours do and how they act and what happens when they're injured, and how I feel like I'm pretty much living proof of about how they're able to be healed and come back, and about how important it is to love your brain. So after the injury, I didn't really have any understanding of where I was at or what I was going to do, and I was kind of on this path, and I was set to be a professional snowboarder, and that was going to be my life. And then I had this injury, and I was left with absolutely nothing. And I was left in critical care for 36 days, and then I was left with having to completely rebuild my life. And so it's kind of been this like roller coaster ride of like getting to the very top of something and then falling to the very bottom of it, and now having to figure out how I can work my way back and live this life not doing that one thing that I was so great at.
I was supposed to be a third grade teacher. I should start there. So, and if I do say so myself, I was a phenomenal third grade teacher. Once my boys, I found out about their blindness and we weren't getting the resources that we needed. We couldn't find the people that we needed to help us. And when research breakthroughs started to happen, who was going to do it, right? So I signed up. I knew I wanted to be a teacher since about the third grade, right? So I go through this whole thing. That was my life. And then to get that, it wasn't pulled out from under me. It was a switch that I chose to make and have to learn a whole new thing on the fly, you know, and it was learning by mistake after mistake after mistake, raising these blind kids. And the one word I can say to sum all that up is humbling. I've spoken on lots of different platforms and stages, but nothing with the impact that a TEDx has.
This is a first TEDx talk, and it's incredibly nerve-shattering and really pushes me so far out of my comfort zone. My talk is about mental illness, and it focuses on the fact that overwhelmingly mental illnesses start when we're very young, and people don't know that, and that it's really a crisis for kids up to 14 and then again up to 24. So it's a disease of youth. And so we're not getting treatment to kids nearly early enough. So I think there's a huge opportunity to teach kids that their brains can get sick and that they can get help.
I've did many interviews, but never a talk like this. So I'm doing a combination of talking and crump dancing. So while I'm dancing is basically the explanation during the example. Crump is everything. Crump is a language. Crump is my language. Wow. Stomp. Stomp is a rhythm keeper. Stomp is a pay attention, listen to me, watch me. That's my breath when I'm going through my everyday and you just want to scream, you want to yell. I do. I let it out. I don't let things inside. It's an energy. It's a way of being. And what it does for me, it just keeps me sane. It keeps me original. It keeps me expressive and free because we all confine ourselves. It's like life only happens to just us. And we bottle everything up inside and it corrodes us. And crump is my way of not doing that.
I'm a professional comedian, so literally every time I take the stage, it's a risk. So the title of my talk is The Art of Defying Stereotypes, Learning to be True to Your Voice. When I say voice, I actually mean it literally and abstractly. I have a very unusual voice, something that I didn't realize until a little bit later on in my life. But it's one that doesn't fit the stereotypes of what we see a Black woman in the media. So it's partially talking about that, but it's also partially talking about the power and the value that your voice has. So the idea is, you don't have to be a stereotype. You absolutely can defy it. No labels should be put on you that you don't want.
So I am talking about unconscious bias in hiring practices, how we make decisions unconsciously based upon our own assessments, our judgments, our fears, our stereotypes. The thing about unconscious bias is that we all have it. And it's not as overt as a typical bias where you say, okay, I don't like I don't like women. I don't like, I'm never gonna hire women or I'm never gonna hire African American. It's not that overt. It's the little things. We don't talk about the stupid little things that happen in recruiting, that these unconscious biases, if you really think about it, can really screw with someone's livelihood, like their career.
I moved to the US 9 years ago. And I am from Spain and I was living in Puerto Rico at the time. And I never experienced what it was to not be in a country that you're from or not speak the language well, the grammar, the accent. And I experienced a lot of dismissal just because of the accent. Because the IQ is there, the position was there. I had a team, I was doing a big global job. I can't understand you, you have an accent. I heard that a lot. So my talk is about something that I struggled a lot while I was growing up, and a lot of my clients struggle with, and it's body image and confidence. And I talk specifically about what were the historical events that triggered us to start hating our body and being obsessed with diets and things and stuff like that.
The risk-taking and change-making that I've made in my career is something I have always done. Applying to be a TEDx organizer was a risk. I've never done this before, and we came together because we thought we could do it, and why not?
This man, Lee Miller, who will be in the audience, his daughter bought him 2 tickets to the event because he had been talking about, at 71 years old, he wanted to do something different. He's been an attorney for years, and he was talking about how I think it's time for a change. It's my chance to do something different. So in his Christmas envelope were tickets to TEDxLincolnSquare.
You know what made me be a part of it? It was the risk-taking and change-making. I always thought of myself when I was in corporate, like I'm a change agent. I even took courses to be change agents. Nah, this is change. We can change lives on stages.
I give presentations all year long, and so the TED Talk opportunity was just another one of these great opportunities to get important messages out to the world about changes in the media ecosystem and something that I'm really passionate about in challenging the status quo. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I started my first company when I was in school. I had a company after that, and I've had 3 or 4. So I like to examine what is normal and then what can be done to improve on that. And I always love to question, why is the state of things the state of things? Can it change? And of course, we always see changes happening, but who are the people that inspire those changes, and why do they actually get inspired to change them in the first place?
I mean, the TED Talk is ultimately about using this technique that's used for performance to engender empathy and compassion.
I think as an event, as a whole, it's a risk-taking, change-making event. The fact that we've mixed in Broadway and all the performances with the typical talk.
I wanted to create a theatrical event while still honoring the TEDx brand of ideas worth spreading.
Yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. 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 Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Yes, it will. Change start occur.
Great. So this is the walk-in during the, oh yes, you will. Oh yes, I can. Oh yes, you will.
Somebody's going to do something.
So everybody's walking in. You're going to take these places. They're singing. They're welcoming you to the stage because you are the risk takers and the change makers, and I want to honor you at the end of the show. I want everyone to see how amazing you are and for you to be on the stage. After the speakers are released.
Yes, you guys are released. Smart. Thank you. That's why we took those photos.
I feel like we've done the work to give an audience everything we wanted to give them, which is an opportunity to think about risk and change and how that applies in their lives.
Now, as you came in, these amazing programs, also consider them your workbook. So as ideas come to you, an idea or something one of the speakers says, it sparks something in you, write them down, because we know that when you write something down in the moment, it tends to move into a lifetime of learning.
Now, I initially saw blindness as a barrier to all of my dreams. But once I had a change in perception, my eyes were open, and man, I saw their successes, their achievements, and every day, their happiness. A change in perception can happen for all of us at any point in time. I highly recommend it sooner than later.
My focus has changed. And my main focus is on living the most mindful, present life possible.
To be authentic for me, it means to speak my truth, without the need to be right or skinny for that matter.
So you see, I come by my nondescript voice honestly. I also don't have a black scent, as I call it.
To the artists, to the misfits, to the entrepreneurs, if you can understand the relationship between convenience and control, and you can inspire change, that might mean your idea might generate the very next chain reaction.
But going forward, I invite you to advocate for mental health literacy in our grade schools and to develop your own mental health literacy. Eventually, we'll be a mental health literate society, all of us looking out for one another.
Oh, yes, we will.